Alright, hey guys, so, today, here is my War 8 and my War 9 from Season 36. Apologies for the late upload on these, had a lot going on, so figured I'd just wait and then upload them both when I finished all that up. So now, here we are. So, yeah, for the first War, War 8, I have a Doom boss, and then I have Path 8 with Doom and Rintrah. So, yeah, first off, we have this Nihilus. Of course, Doom is going to be who we go for here. I forgot to turn Mystic Dispersion back on for this Nihilus fight. Recently, I wasn't placing any Mystics, so I had mostly just been leaving the 5 points until attack phase starts, so then I could spec into half Sui's or spec into Mystic Dispersion, whatever I needed. But yeah, I forgot to turn on Mystic Dispersion. Thankfully, it wasn't for a difficult fight or anything like that. It was just for a Path 8 Nihilus, which, you know, no Mystic Dispersion here. Not a big deal by any means. You're just throwing some heavies, and yeah. Very easy fight, of course. And when you get to your L3, the fight's pretty much over. And yeah. I do end up losing my streak later in War 8 to the Doom boss. Really bad fight, but yeah. Ended at 90 this time. So just before 100. Little bit annoying with that, but yeah. I mean, it happens. Not the worst thing. But, you know, dying always sucks. So, yeah. If we win both of these final two wars, we get top 10 masters, even in this show season, which is nice, and I'm sure you guys have already all seen that we do end up winning both of these final two wars, and yeah, first one against the SVG. Don't remember what the score was, but we did win this war, and yeah. Sersi with Rintrah. This time, I go for throwing specials instead of just all combos. Doesn't lead to a quicker fight because of Conduit. But yeah, I mean, we went for that strategy. I probably quicker to just do the combos and hope for good crit RNG, but yeah. Throwing the specials, I mean, if the special 2 had crit, then it would have been an insta-kill, but yeah, that wasn't what happened. And yeah, I eat Sersi's on 1 here. Yeah. And then I'm just ready to go into the route, and yeah, trying to build up another big special 2. We get 34 and the fight's over like that. So yeah, decent fight. We eat that one, but it doesn't matter because it's Rintrah. And yeah, next up we have a Nova, which is of course just a Doom fight. Gonna be a very easy fight. I don't know why I clicked Rintrah here. I went back and clicked Doom, of course. Yeah, Doom versus Nova, this is about as easy as it gets, of course. There's Rich Get Richer, which gives Nova a lot of power, but with Doom, you can eat Nova's L3 and take barely any damage. The main thing you want to do is just make sure he's not getting a bunch of buffs, because there is Opportunist on this node, which means for every buff, he's going to get 50% extra attack. So that's the only way this fight can have any dangers, if he gets a bunch of buffs and then throws an L3. But it's very, very, very unlikely for that to happen. You have to mess up really poorly. So yeah, Doom has a pretty easy time on this fight. Yeah, I mean, it's Doom versus Nova. Not much to say about that. It took like 40 seconds, not difficult at all. And yeah, now this next fight is a very, very long fight. I decided for this king route that I was going to mostly go for combos instead of specials. And with Aspect of Evolution, this can get a little bit annoying because he's going to get a lot of stacks of Aspect of Evolution in such a long fight. Not the end of the world, but it is definitely a factor here. And yeah, here I'm just trying to parry to let all of these stacks of Furies go away. I probably should have comboed before the final stack and then parried so he didn't get that regen buff. This was because I was worried about Rich Get Richer. I don't want to let him get an L2. Probably worried about it more than I need to. But the L2 can poison and kill Rintrah, so that was the only thing I was worried about in this fight. was don't let King Groot get to an L2, and that was basically all I had on my mind. And we were successful with not letting King Groot get to an L2, but it definitely led to a longer fight than I'm sure it could have been if I had gone for more of a speed kill. And yeah. Not much to say about this fight. We're just doing our combos, baiting the special ones, and making sure we keep Neutralize up and make sure he doesn't get those Fury buffs. And yeah, that's basically all there is to this fight. We go into Root in the corner. He applies that armor break, and that means they're going to actually heal from eating his L1. And yeah, this just goes to show just how easy this fight is. I mean, it's not quick or anything, but there's really no danger to it other than eating his L2, which is fairly easy to avoid. But yeah, just baiting those L1s, letting our ruptures do the work. Combos are doing some damage as well, and yeah, I mean, I'm repeating myself here because, yeah, I mean, it's Rintrah versus a King Groot. And yeah, the fight's almost done at this point. He hasn't gotten to an L2 yet, so we're keeping it under control, doing well. We're getting a lot of ruptures stacked up here, which is nice. And then we just bait out another L1, go for a combo. And here, I think I go for another combo into my L3. Or maybe I just wait it out, I can't remember. No, I just go for another combo and it kills. Alright, yep. Okay. And then I have a Doom boss as well. And yeah, for this Doom boss, this is where I lose my streaks. After that King Groot, I was on a 90 streak, and then I have this Doom boss. And yeah, I did my duels, did all the boosts and master changes I would normally do, and I wasn't having input issues or anything, I just played poorly. All the mistakes in this fight are not a factor of anything other than me just playing poorly. Which happens, I mean, you're taking so many fights over a season, you're bound to make some poor mistakes eventually, and on a fight like this Doom boss, it's not a fight where you can afford to really be making mistakes, at least not in the quantity that I was making. You see, getting a clean start, I'm like, alright, I'm feeling good about these inputs. It felt like it was in duels, and you can tell I'm not having any input issues or anything. And yeah, things are going well for the first bit, and then at some point, I just start playing like shit, which sucks. Don't think it's here yet. When does it start? Think it was here? Yeah, I just eat a full L1. And at this point, I get the long shock on me, and he's backed me up into my corner, which is really a bad position to be in. Looking back, I probably should have just thrown my L3 here. I think if I had thrown my L3, before I pushed him to a special one, I would have been in a good position. I get the L1 decks again. As you can see, there's no input issues or anything. I'm just being like trash, eating the full L1. Because that's the risk with Doom's L1. If you wait out a while, there's a little bit of risk of eating the full thing if you go for the full decks instead of like the block 1 decks, the other two. But yeah. And yeah, now we're in the corner and we eat another L1. This is really bad, and now we're pushed to second life. And we do a corner dex to the L2. And yeah, here I need to bait this special one. Now thankfully I'm stun immune, so this is not going to stun me and heavy me. But I really need him to throw this special one at this point. Thankfully, I get all this corner dex off, but then I mess up at the very end right there and eat it again. So now I push my L3 to get some spacing. Again, I should have done this much earlier. That was my big mistake in this fight. If I had done this when he was first backing me up a little bit, I would not have been in nearly as bad of a position, and I would have probably soloed this fight. But that's not what happened, and yeah. And then I believe I mess up another L1 dex right here, and then he throws another L1, and I believe I messed that up as well. And yeah, that's just very, very bad. Like, that's very poor. Here, we're going back in second life, so this should only last like 2-3 combos. But yeah, that I cooled off for a little bit. And yeah, that death really fucking bugged me, because there was just so many ways to have done that better, and it was just all mechanical mistakes, really. And it was just so many mechanical mistakes, because, yeah. And then, yeah, 2 combos and an 0-1, and he's done now. And thankfully, we ended up winning this war anyway. I did not do well for my own performance, but yeah, now, final war of the season. This war decides if we get top 10. I just have a 4-fight war today. Doom versus Aarkus on the first node of Hazard Shift. As weird as this sounds, this is actually a really easy fight. Yeah, we just want to get this power gain with our PS1. Unlucky that he triggered so many incinerates at the start. We hit 7 hits, and he had 5 incinerates on me, which is really unlucky. But yeah, now that we get this L3, the fight's over. We have Mystic power backs on, and yeah, that's the basic idea of this fight. Get to your L3, and the fight is over. And yeah, we get another L3. And then he's going to be at like 6% health or so after this L3, I believe. And we're just going to hit him a couple of times and he's going to die. And yeah, 6% health, so just a couple hits and he's dead. And yeah, very, very easy fight. Probably the best option for that. As weird as that is, Doom is probably the best option for that. And yeah, Bishop here. This is the one that's a little bit sketch. I had checked and made sure it was a SIG 20. And that's what made me think maybe I can ramp Corvus here. I turned on 3 out of 3 recoil. I turned on a 12% Cosmic. I turned on a PS1. You cannot run Cosmic power backs here. That's the dangerous thing about this. Because when you gain a bar of power and go above your L1, he's going to get that indestructible. So you cannot be running Cosmic power backs here. So that's the thing that makes this difficult. You know, on a lot of other nodes, this is a pretty easy fight. And yeah, here, we're just waiting this out a little bit, and I eat a combo. Yeah, again, not input issues or anything, I just played poorly. And yeah, here we get our L2, and this left him at 43%, which was, to be honest, more health than I would have liked for him to have. And here, I made a mistake of dexing back, and this let him throw his L1, which is very bad, because this is going to get me in the corner, and I'm likely going to get at least 1 incinerate on me. It's going to be hard to avoid that, and this is not going to leave me with a lot of health to get back to my L2. Looking back, I could have maybe finished this off with a combo and an L1, but I did not want to risk it. So I'm saving to my L2 here. I'm just praying he does not throw that L1. Thankfully, he did not throw the L1, so he can end the fight there. If he had thrown that L1, I probably would have died. So, yeah. Definitely would not send that in the future again. But yeah, we got a solo at least, and then we just have these 2 Corvus fights. These are about as easy as it gets for Corvus fights. I still have my 3 out of 3 recoil on from that Bishop, so these guys are not going to last for that L2. They're just gonna die. And yeah, pretty easy fights. We won this war. We got top 10 masters after winning this war, which was quite nice. I believe since we got top 10 masters, that just pushes me over the edge to the point where after 8.1 I'm gonna have another R4 plus the R4 gem, of course, so I'll have another 2 R4s there. So that's nice. If we had gotten top 20, it probably would have been like another week or so until I got my next R4. So yeah, here he's being a little bit annoying. This is the tricky thing with this fight. Whenever he gains those armors, he can start glancing and stuff. But yeah, Corvus has the armor break, so it's really easy. And yeah, that's all for this war season. I don't remember how many fights I took, but 1 death for my first season on Noon. Not the end of the world, but definitely want to hopefully be going deathless next season. And yeah.